Right, welcome for our next Food for Thought cooking class. This week we have ground beef, we have a cabbage, and we have some leftover canned tomatoes that we got a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to put together galapis or stuffed cabbage rolls. So we're going to make a mixture of ground meat, rice, onions, some fresh dill, and then we're going to, that'll be our filling. And then we'll make a sauce using the tomatoes, some onion, apple, raisins, a little bit of honey. So it's a sweet and sour sort of thing because it has a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it. We'll par cook the leaves of the cabbage. And by that, I mean I'm just going to cook them a little bit in some boiling water just to soften them up a little bit, just to make it easier for us to roll the filling inside. And then once we have them assembled, we'll put them in a pan. We'll put the tomato-based sauce over it and bake it for probably about an hour. So I have my sous-chefs Carlos and Daniel who are going to be helping me with this because we've got 3 or 4 steps that we need to accomplish kind of at the same time. So they're going to work on the meat sauce and the tomato sauce, and I'll work on pouring the cabbage and cooking those leaves. All right, so here is a head of cabbage. If you've never worked with cabbage before, it has a very hard stalk that goes into the center. That part we can't really use. So we're just we'll pull off these outside leaves and then we'll cut around the core just to release the leaves from it. It'll make it a little bit easier to get them into the pot. So if I were going to just cut up the cabbage, I would probably cut it in half or in fourths and remove the center core. But in this case, I want to keep the leaves as intact as I can. So I'm just going to kind of cut in. I'm using a boning knife, mostly because it has a narrow blade, and I just want to remove the core. So you can see it's very, very fibrous. It wouldn't be good to eat. In fact, I need to go a little further in there to remove more of it. Good. Because I can put the whole head into the pot of boiling water when it's ready. So I'm just going to add a little bit of salt because it makes things taste good.
So what I'm doing right now, I am chopping dill and just making sure that I'm actually mincing it. You don't want too big of pieces.
Just chopping some onions.
Get started cutting up some of the ingredients for the sauce. We're going to use these canned tomatoes that we talked about earlier. We'll have some onions, some apple, raisins, and a little bit of honey and some apple cider vinegar. So again, it's sort of a sweet and sour kind of thing. So basically I just cut the apple into quarters. I just hold it like this and kind of remove the core. And then I'm just going to cut this into some wedges, and then I'll come back through and cut it into dice. Because I want the apple to be spread throughout the sauce, not just big chunks of it. And I'm leaving the peel on it. By the time it cooks, it will be nice and soft and it shouldn't bother anyone. The Granny Smith apple usually holds up to cooking better than, say, like a Red Delicious apple. Red delicious apples are good for, we call for eating out of pan. So it's good. It's a good apple to eat just as a snack, but it doesn't cook well. I mean, it cooks fine. It's just going to be really mushy. This will hold. It's just more, has a little more fiber in it, and it'll just hold its shape better. So that's what we're going to use it.
So what we're doing here, it's cutting up some onion. The first thing you gotta do is peel it, and then you cut the middle part. And that way you can have a flat side. And then you just come over here, start slicing it. Then slice inside. And you do the same thing with the other half.
So all of this.
Right here I have some olive oil. I'm gonna just lightly, I guess, oil the pan, or at least enough to cover the bottom. Then you'll know when the oil is ready because it'll start spreading out. Then I'll test it. See, yeah, it's ready. So I want to put my onions in. After they get tender, we're gonna add the ground beef. This is our ground beef. So about another 30 seconds or so. I'm not gonna add the block at a time. I'm gonna add the chunks. And we're gonna cook the meat with the onions until the meat is brown.
All right, so real quickly, we diced up the apple, and so as we all know, if you dice up an apple and leave it in the air, it's going to oxidize, so it'll turn brown. So to prevent that, we just put it in a bowl of water and do a squeeze of lemon juice, and the acid helps prevent the oxidation. So that just takes care of that. In the meantime, my water is boiling now, so I've been pulling the leaves off of the cabbage head. And I'm just going to probably do it in a couple of batches, because I don't think they would all fit. So I'm just going to go ahead with what I have here and put it in the boiling water. All right, so this is a little bit of salted water. I'm just going to add the leaves. And we're not really cooking them completely, just softening them up a little bit. Let that come back up to a boil. It's really those main stalks, like this main center part, that we have to be. The other leaves are probably fine to probably come out, but it's just that one is and that's fairly pliable. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling those inner leaves because they don't need as much time. I almost think of these as tacos. We're just wrapping them in cabbage leaves instead of tortillas. Almost every population group around the world has some form of food that's wrapped in something. We have dim sum from the Far East. You have cabbage rolls from Eastern Europe. You have tacos from Central and South America and Mexico. So everybody wraps food.
So after I tasted for the seasoning, I added a little more salt because it needed this more. And now I'm gonna add the rice to the
I'll be eating onions.
mixture with the dill and the onions.
So now we're going to start stuffing our cabbage leaves. There are different ways to do this. Obviously, again, that center part is the one that's going to be the toughest. So I'm going to start there and roll into the thinner part. So I'm just going to take, now this is the ground meat mixture. Again, it's ground beef, rice that we pre-cooked, a little bit of dill, salt and pepper. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little spoon there, and I'm going to pull the sides in around so that when I push this over, if I can see it very well, but this encloses the sides as I roll toward the end. So then I'm just going to lie that in my pan, because in the meantime, the guys are going to work on the sauce that's going to go over it. So I'll continue stuffing leaves while they work on the sauce that's going to be poured over it. It's okay, no big deal, because we have plenty of leaf that we can roll into. So again, I'm just going to put my stuffing there. I'll bring my sides in again just to kind of enclose that mixture, and then I'm just going to roll toward the area that I do. We'll just, hopefully we'll keep them fairly uniform in shape and size. All right, so again, I'm gonna roll this way, but I'm going to enclose from the sides so that as I roll forward, the sides are enclosed. So, we'll just put it into the pan.
So we're gonna make the sauce, and we have diced tomatoes, dill, some raisins, honey, apple cider vinegar, our onions that we chopped earlier, and some apples and sugar. So we're gonna start with the diced tomatoes.
Then we add the apples.
Dill.
Sugar,
raisins. If they're bunched up, just crush them and make sure they go into these individual pieces.
we go apple cider vinegar,
and some more onions. And some honey. And we're gonna give this a good mix.
Sauce. We're just going to pour that over
It goes to 325 degrees.
So it's an hour and a half in the oven with the foil on, and then we took the foil off and left it in for another 30 minutes. So it should be ready now. And here we go. So remember that in this sauce is tomato, apple, a little bit of raisin, some honey, a little bit of vinegar, and some of the dill. So it should be sort of sweet and sour to taste.